What's going on, guys? Killz here, and welcome to a brand new and updated version of my Nekroz deck profile. Kind of taking it back to basics on this one. Cut down to a 41 card build, and I know in the last build I was playing pretty much every engine. I was playing Zaborg, Manjus, and Vanity's Ruler. This time I've kind of cut it back a little bit, and you'll see what I'm talking about in just a moment. But sometime in the future, I really do want to try a 60 card build of Nekroz. I just want to order cards like Saravis and play a full Incantation engine, as in 3 of every Incantation, from Chalice Slime to Bookstone, and up the Nekroz count, up the spell count, and just sort of experiment with a really fun 60 card build. So that is something you guys have to look forward to in the future. Before we get started, I've got a TCG Player affiliate link down in the description below. If you want to use that, you can. Basically, if you buy anything on TCG Player using that link, whether it be single, sealed product, etc., I'll receive a small cut of the revenue from your purchase. So if you want to help support me just by using TCG Player, that is a viable option. Also, if you want to pick up any playmats, dice, or sleeves, check out Imperium Duelist down below. You can get some of these amazing dice on their website as well, or some of these really awesome sleeves like I'm using here. Some with effects, some with non-effects. These amazing tournament-ready sleeves that I've been using for quite some time now. So I highly recommend you guys check them out. Link to the website down below, as well as a discount code you can use to save 10% off your entire order. So with all that being said, let's go ahead and get into the deck profile. And to start, we have 3 copies of Nekroz of Bryanek. Hands down the best Nekroz monster in the main deck. Easily playing 3. Two copies of Trish. I've always played Trish since, ever since I've ever played this deck. I don't think I've ever played more than 2 Trish. Maybe at times 1, but I think 2 is a perfect option for right now. 2 copies of Nekroz of Colossalus. 2 copies of Nekroz of Valkyris. 1 copy of Gungnir. I've actually decided to re-add in Gungnir for that protection effect. Also does have a pretty decent effect on field. Be able to discard, I believe, any card. Discard a Nekroz card and then target a card on the field and destroy it. So not too bad of a card on its own. 2500 body, and also searchable off of prep since it is a level 7. Then of course 1 Nekroz of Unicorn. Hopefully this card will come back to 2 in the next list. I think it will. I think we'll see Shuret make a comeback to 3, even though I wouldn't play 3 Shuret, to be honest. Maybe in a 60 card build I would, but I think for right now 2 is just fine. That's why I think Shuret has some ground to come back. So that's it for all the Nekroz monsters. Now we'll move into the Incantation engine. So yeah, 3 Chalice Slime. Basically, you can just discard any card in your hand to special summon any Incantation monster from your deck. And if you don't Ritual Summon after you use that effect, you lose 2,500 life points during the end phase. So this card is a huge play starter. Oftentimes you want to at least try not to discard himself, so you have a recurring play for next turn. Sometimes you can't help that fact and the rest of your hand is too good and you'd rather not discard anything, so you can just discard himself, and then you play multiple copies anyways, so you can always get it back pretty easily. 1 Ben 10. This is the last ritual monster. These are the last ritual monsters lineup, all the ritual monsters. Now we'll get into the rest of the Incantation main deck monsters here after we go through the 3 Manju, the 10,000 hands. Yeah, I'm still playing Manju. I've dropped Zaborg, actually, because I just think Vanity's Ruler is just better all around. I don't know. I think Vanity's Ruler is just, I don't know. It's just better. And also, Zaborg is not searchable. I guess that's like my overarching reason to play Ruler over Zaborg. It's just because you can search Ruler so easily and you can search Ben 10 so easily. So I think Manju is still good in here. Obviously, you have a decent normal summon outside of Vanity's Ruler. Then 2 Shuret Strategists of the Nekroz. Definitely want to max out those for now. I think 2 is a perfect number. Then next we have our Incantation monsters here finally. 2 Talismandra, 2 Candle, and 2 copies of the Pencil Plume. So maxing out with these beautiful super rares here. Not maxing out, but 2 of each. Like I said, if I were to play a 60 card build, I'd probably go 3 of each, including Bookstone, just because you need to see those cards. They're such good play starters. But they do really suck to see in your opening hand when you don't have the right requirements to be able to use them, obviously. Otherwise, they just kind of sit vacant in your hand, waiting for you to have the right target. Then, of course, the last monster in the main deck, 1 copy of Vanity's Ruler. And speaking of monsters, cards like Nibiru and Dark Ruler, I want to mention real quick before we go into the spells. Right now, I don't think I'd main Nibiru in here at all. I think that would be a poor choice, and I don't think maining the Dark Ruler no more would be that great either. I'd rather side those along with Evenly Matched to help bolster this deck's ability to go second. So I just want to sort of get that out on the table right now before we go any further. But speaking of spells, we're going to start with the 3 copies of Preparation of Rites. Hands down, a 3 of 100%. 2 copies of that Foolish Burial Goods, because this card is actually really underrated in here, in my opinion. Can help get play started by sending the Incantation Inception to the graveyard, or any of your other Nekroz ritual spells to the graveyard, to be able to search ritual spells early that turn, to be able to make an Incantation live perhaps, or to be able to set up extra incantation plays by dumping that Inception to the graveyard very early. Next, 2 copies of the Celestial Observatory. Basically, place any level 6 from your hand or face-up field to the graveyard, or to the bottom of the deck, and draw 2 cards. So basically my budget version of Extravagance. You could easily play Extravagance in here. I just don't have it because I don't want to pay the money for it currently. So if you already have Pot of Extravagance, I'd recommend that over this. But for budget options, Celestial Observatory works just fine in my opinion. Then we have 2 copies of Nekroz Cycle, 2 copies of Mirror, and then just 1 copy of the Kaleidoscope. Because really you're only going to use this turn 1, or ideally turn 1 to get your Unicorn out. And then after that, you're really not going to be wanting to resolve that card much afterwards. I mean, if you could even get like a Unicorn to add back something from your graveyard, you most time wouldn't want to go for this. You're going to be using Cycle and Mirror to do most of the work the remainder of the game. So I think playing 2 of those is fine. Then lastly, 1 Inception and 1 copy of Rhoda. Search the Shuret or the Clausulus. And Inception is just a really good extender when paired with the Incantation monsters on your board, and also help you be able to ritual summon and clearing Incantation monsters off your field to summon big Nekroz monsters like Valkyris or Trish, or even Gungnir as well. So yeah, that's it for the main deck. 41 cards, including that Gungnir. So if you wanted to play a clean cut 40, you could drop the Gungnir. But like I said, I do really want to try a 60 card build of Nekroz at some point in the future, because I think it's a really creative build that just kind of mashes a bunch of different things together. You can play Vanity's Ruler, Zaborg, Manju, Zeravis, Call by the Grave, a full Incantation engine, and just so much other stuff. So I'm really looking forward to trying that out at some point in the future. I just need to get my hands on some Zeravis. But now we'll go into the extra deck. And to start, we have Armatile, the Chaos Phantom. This is just a level 12 placeholder, really. An option to be able to send a level 12 to be able to summon a 4 and an 8 Nekroz monster off a Kaleidoscope. This could be any level 12. I just want to stress that. So yeah, this will let you summon Unicorn and Valk. This will let you summon Gungnir and Unicorn, because this is a level 11. Again, it could be any level 11 monster. It doesn't have to be Cosmo Neos. 2 copies of NTTS. This is an option to send off of the Kaleidoscope. Really, this could just be one of these. I think 2 might be a little much, but there's just a lot of room in the extra deck. This could also just be another rank 4, so you could just play the 1 NTS if you want to. Then for Synchros, we have a level 10 Leo, the Keeper of the Sacred Trees. Again, we're not making any of these cards. We're sending with the graveyard off Kaleidoscope, so we're just giving ourselves plenty of options in the extra deck to be able to send off Kaleidoscope. So level 10 here, a 6 and a 4, a 7 and a 3. We have our level 10, then I'm playing 1 level 6 Doloran. Again, this is just to summon the Bryanak directly if we wanted to off of the Kaleidoscope. Then 3 copies of the Herald of the Arclight. Again, this is also to send off Kaleidoscope as well, because when this is sent to the graveyard, we get to add any Nekroz or any ritual spell or monster. So this card is really, really key to be able to get your searches going off of your Kaleidoscope. I know some people are also suggesting I play like extra Foolish Burial or whatever the one that sends from the extra deck. I'm just not too keen on paying half-life to be able to dump this card to the graveyard or anything else for that matter. I just think it's just not worth the life point cost for me. Personally, that is something you could definitely do, but for me right now, it's something I'm just going to opt to steer away from. Then we have some rank 4s here. The Daiguster Emerald, Tornado Dragon, Exciton Knight, Dweller. Just some staple rank 4s, really, because Unicorn and the Manju can make rank 4 plays pretty easily. This helps recycle your engine a lot, which is very, very nice. Then one Nephthys, the Sacred Flame. Basically, this card gets a lot of effects because when you make it with ritual monsters, it gains additional effects. So it says 2+ monsters, including a ritual monster. And then it gains additional effects for the number of ritual monsters you use to link summon it. So if you use 2 or 1+, cannot be destroyed by battle. If you use 2 or more, cannot be destroyed by card effects, and it also gains 1200 attack. And if you use 3, neither player can target this card with card effects, also gains another 1200 attack. So this thing can gain an additional 2400 attack, gain the ability to not be destroyed by battle, not be destroyed by card effects, and also cannot be targeted by card effects. So at that point, it literally becomes just like invincible. Can't be destroyed by battle, can't be destroyed by card effects, and cannot be targeted by card effects, and also sits at 4800. So the only way you're getting over that is with a fat kaiju, which you better hope you have, or else this thing is just sticking on the board. And then playing 1 copy of Nightmare Phoenix lastly, just to out back row when we need to. So yeah, so that's it for the main deck and the extra deck. Now we'll run through a quick test hand, and then maybe a combo, really, just to set up Vanity's Ruler. Okay, so this is just a 2-card combo, how to set up the Vanity's Ruler locked. Make it so your opponent can't special summon, but you still can. So basically, I've shown this combo before, but I'll go ahead and show it again for those that aren't familiar with this combo. Basically, will require Brionac and any incantation other than Talismandra. So basically, to start here, we're going to use the Pencil Plume and reveal Brionac, and just go ahead and summon the Pencil Plume and then summon the copy of Talismandra from our deck. And here we're going to add a copy of Ben 10 off of his effect, just like that. And then here we're going to pitch Brionac to be able to add the Colossalus, and then pitch this to add a copy of Cycle. Now, if we open Candle, we would just start with Brio first, pitch Colossalus, then add this, and then use Candle to reveal the Cycle to summon out Talismandra to search Ben 10 like we're doing right now. I just shuffled one of these cards in here backwards. My bad. Okay, so now from this point on, we are going to, with these cards in hand, use Cycle, tribute the Ben 10 to summon out a level 6 from our graveyard, level 6 Nekroz. So at this point, we're going to be able to use Ben 10's effect since he was tributed to search a light fairy from our deck to our hand. And we're going to search the biggest light fairy in our deck, and that is Vanity's Ruler. And with us still not having normal summoned, we're going to go ahead and tribute the Talismandra and the Pencil Plume for a copy of Vanity's Ruler. And just like that, 2-card combo to set up Vanity's Ruler, 100% searchable. Both the components in our hand really were, I guess, not search. I mean, we can't search Pencil Plume, but we play so many copies of incantations. 3 Chalice Slime, 2 Pencil Plume, 2 Candle, because like I said, we don't want to open the Talismandra when paired with a Brionac. But there are ways to play around that, really, if the rest of your hand is really good and you have other ways to search. So yeah, definitely a really solid lock. Now we're going to go ahead and shuffle the deck here and do a random test hand. Okay, so we have shuffled the deck here, and let's go ahead and see what we're capable of doing with the first 5 cards in this opening hand. So we've opened up Ben 10, Preparation of Rites, Brionac, and our last card is a copy of Chalice Slime. So with this hand, we can definitely pull off the Vanity's Ruler lock. We did open up double Brionac, but to be honest, that's not so bad because it'll give us a follow-up for next turn. So to start here, I'm going to activate Chalice Slime, discarding itself to the graveyard to be able to add any, or be able to summon any incantation from our deck. And I'm going to summon out the Talismandra. Actually, we don't even need to summon Talismandra. We could just summon, well, we could still summon Talismandra here. And, yeah, I think that's actually, is that what I want to do? Actually, no, let's summon out Candle here. And Candle will add us a copy of the Kaleidoscope, because we want to be able to get Unicorn on board as well. Just for added flair, I guess, so we're not doing the same thing we did in that last combo, because we have 100% the resources here to be able to pull that off. So from this point, I'm going to activate the Preparation of Rites, because we don't want to use Brionac here to go grab what we're going to grab. I mean, I guess we could still sort of do it this way, but I'm just going to do it the way that I'm sort of comfortable with. We'll add a level 7 or lower ritual. We have no ritual spell in our grave to add back right now, but that's fine. We'll play Kaleidoscope, and we'll go ahead and send a level 4 monster from our extra deck to the grave. So we'll send the Herald of the Arclight, summon Unicorn, and then we'll use Herald of the Arclight effect to search any ritual spell or monster. And here I'm going to grab a copy of Valkyrus for next turn. And then I'm going to pitch the Brio for a copy of Clauselus for the Cycle. And then here I'm going to activate Cycle, tributing the Ben 10 to summon out the Bryonak. And we're going to go ahead and add a Light Fairy from our deck to our hand. And again, that's going to be none other than the Vanity's Ruler. Now, if we wanted to switch things up per se, we could add Manju of the 10,000 hands here, right? Add Manju, normal it, search whatever, and then we could make a copy of Daigusto Emerald and be able to recycle a lot of our engine right off the bat if we wanted to. So that's another avenue. But if we wanted to, per se, stun our opponent, if we knew this was going to be a good way to go, you know, we could go for that. But if we were playing against something like True Draco, they don't care about Vanity's Ruler. We'd probably want to just go for Manju and just make like Tornado Dragon or something and just set up that way. But for the video here, I'm just going to grab the copy of Ruler. We still have 2 other monsters on our field that aren't Unicorn to tribute off, so we'll go ahead and tribute off the Bryonak and the Candle for the Ruler. And we still have a copy of Bryonak and Valk in our hand. So for some reason, if they have impermanence or whatever for this, and they try to clear it in the battle phase, we have Valk to be able to stop that from being destroyed. But if they have impermanence and a way to destroy it via card effect, we're kind of out of luck at that point. But we do have a way to search next turn in our grave by using Cycle or Kaleidoscope. And we have Brio and Valk in hand, and we're drawing a copy of Shuret for turn, which is actually really, really good because that means we could probably Trish them very, very easily if they do not play around that. And most of the time they don't, because most people will end with cards in their hand, field, and graveyard. So you can take full advantage of hitting them with that volatile Trish. So yeah, that's going to do it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed. And if you did, be sure to leave a like. Let me know what you think down in the comment section below. And I'll be coming back at you guys soon with a 60 card build of Nekroz. Really excited to show you guys that. So yeah, hope you enjoyed. Check out my affiliate link to TCG Player down below if you're buying any sealed product or singles. Don't forget to use my link if you want to help support me with your purchase. And also check out Empyrean Duelist down below as well. Use that discount code WinterKillz10 off. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. As always, WinterKillz signing out. We'll see you in the next one.